What is a judge to make of this situation? The judge will, of course, turn to the rules of evidence, particularly Rule 131, Section 3, entitled Disputable Presumptions. The following presumptions are satisfactory if uncontradicted, but may be contradicted and overcome by other evidence. A, B, C, etc. Letter J, that a person found in possession of a thing taken during the doing of a recent wrongful act is the taker and doer of the whole act. Let me repeat. Disputable presumption that a person found in possession of a thing taken in the doing of a recent wrongful act is the taker and the doer of the whole act. So, we have to presume that things have happened according to the ordinary course of life. Lumalabas ka, sukat ka binigyan ng envelope, wala kang pakialam. Saka mo na lang binuksan, tapos, voila, there's an presumably illegally obtained document inside the envelope. Ngayon sasabihin mo, hindi ko intindi bakit narating sa akin yan. There's the law. The law says, pag hindi mo pinapaliwanag yan, ang ibig sabihin, ikaw nagnakaw niyan. Kung pickpocket ka at nasa bus ka, pagkatapos may nawalang pitaka at ikaw may hawak, sasabihin ng pulis, ikaw palang magnanakaw eh. Anong paliwanag mo? Ngayon din yon sa ating kaso ngayon. That things have happened according to the ordinary course of nature and the ordinary habits of life. The other congressman said, I was driving into my house. In the driveway, I found attached to the gate or in a situation more or less similar, an envelope, and when I open it, voila, there's the signature card. And there's no other further explanation. Is that an ordinary habit of life? To walk to your gate and find envelopes stuck there? Don't you have a mailbox? Don't you have a house helper who can be trusted to receive mail in your absence? So, I just raised these questions because, Ms. Witness, it appears to me that your behavior was exemplary. Thank you.
Thank you.
Neither have you been furnished with a list of the committee's questions to guide the invited resource persons, ha? Eh, dumating kayo dito, wala naman kayong mga questions, ha? Taon-taon, year in and year out, ilang libong hearings ang ginakandak ng Senado, wala namang nagtatanong. Ano ba ang ipagtatanong ninyo sa amin? Kung sino man ang abogadong nag-draft nitong sulat na ito, dapat patalsikin ni Presidente Aquino dahil duling. Kasi sa ating saligang batas, merong provision tungkol sa inquiries in aid of legislation, kasunod doon ang provision tungkol sa question hour. Kinonfuse niya silang dalawa kasi nga duling eh. I will read to you. The provision of the Constitution. This is Article 6, the Legislative Department, Section 21. The Senate or any of its respective committees may conduct inquiries in aid of legislation in accordance with its duly published rules of procedure. Basta sinunod mo yung rules of procedure, tama na yon, sabi ng saligang batas. The rights of persons appearing in or affected by such inquiry shall be respected. Tapos, ito ngayon, yan ang tungkol sa public hearing natin. Ang kasunod ay Section 22, na tungkol naman sinatawag namin sa Senado na question hour. Ito ngayon ang kino-quote sa akin. Hindi naman ito question hour eh. Dapat, suntukin na lang kaya yung abogadong yun for having low IQ? Kung sino man yon. Nakaka-insulto eh. Section 22. The heads of departments may, upon their own initiative, with the consent of the President, or upon the request of either House, as the rules of each House shall provide, appear before and be heard by such House on any matter pertaining to their departments. Written questions shall be submitted to the President of the Senate or the Speaker of the House of Representatives at least 3 days before their scheduled appearance. Interpellation should not be limited to written questions, but may cover matters related thereto. Kaya pinagpalit niya. Ay, nagsasay siya ng batas sa akin, abogada. Abogado kayong sumulat nito. Ay, padisbar ko ito ah. Sunod-sunod kasi ang Section 21 tungkol sa committee hearing. Ang Section 22 tungkol sa question hour. Sinasite niya sa akin ngayon itong pirmado ng Executive Secretary, ang Section 22 tungkol sa question hour. Kahit natawag kong duling yun eh. Baka may iba pang mental infirmities yun, hindi lang natin alam. Ngayon, meron pa nagpapapel na baka daw walang jurisdiction itong committee na ito. This is a challenge to jurisdiction which is provided for by the Senate rules. Questions of jurisdiction under our rules, as long as there is a quorum, shall be decided by majority vote of the senators who are present. Di dahil
order in the sense that it refers to non-state actors in general. And when we define non-state actors under international law and even domestic law, this cover a wide range of groups and characters. So not just terrorist organizations, not just insurgent groups, belligerent groups, or even criminal organizations. So the applicability of the 9851 really is something that needs to be scrutinized further. Because as I said, there are nuances. We have to settle first the issue, what exactly is the status of MILF? And therefore, can we apply categorically the provisions of 9851?
Let us recall that the Philippine Constitution provides that international law is part of the law of the land. It is as if it were the principles of international law operate in our country. It is as if the Congress passed that principle because it becomes, in effect, similar to the standing of a law within our country. The question is, does international law cover non-international armed conflicts? The answer is self.
Yes, so
the
it
answer
is.
Yes,
because of
our
the constitutional
international humanitarian law statute and human rights law. For example, it is important for the MILF and the BIFF to be informed of this fact because they seem to be oblivious of it. The Rome Statute of the International Criminal Court includes non-international armed conflict in the concept of war crimes. So I submit that what happened to the 44 Filipinos was a war crime committed by the MILF and the BIFF. And then, may I just go to this point? You said yesterday or 2 days ago that because the PNP is purely civilian in character, there's no such thing as a line of command because that is a military concept. Does that provision in the Constitution, and I have my Constitution here, I believe, defining the PNP as civilian in character, does that prevent the PNP from developing by analogy its own concepts like line of command? Is there a preventive effect on the language employed by the Constitution about the civilian character of the PNP? Does it prevent other terms from the military to be incorporated in the language of the PNP?
There is nothing in the Constitution or any law which prevents that, Your Honor.
Next, perhaps the last, Mrs. Chair, because I'm aware that you are about to treat me like we were in a cornfield.
No, Madam. They've given you much leeway. We know that your time is also limited being here. So we gave you more than 5 minutes actually, ma'am.
Malapit na ako mag-introduce ng bill to make idiocy a crime in the Philippines punishable by life imprisonment because we have no more death penalty. Biro mo, panahon ng ating Senado, ginugugol natin sa pagpaliwanag, inaaksaya natin ang panahon ng ating Senado. Sa mga ganito, gusto akong pasagutin ng mga ganitong pagtatanong na maliwanag naman ang mga sagot ay nasa rules of procedure namin o kaya sa Senate rules namin. Ano naman ito? Ano naman itong illiteracy na ito? Sayang lang pag-eskwela ko sa UP College of Law na pinapasagot ako ng mga ganitong uri. Dapat dito sa pituwi, dapat sana may karapatan akong sa pituwin ng mga nagtatanong ng ganito. Fourth allegation, the probe should be transferred from Miriam to some other senator who chairs some other committee. My comment is, what's not to like about me, huh? Bakit? Nakakahawa ba ako? Am I so repulsive that the hearing on an important public controversy should be transferred from me without any basis to some other committee?